Shalom, 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 shalom. Israel, I want to start this by giving all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak so this world so ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew tongue. I want to give double honors to the elder of the men of Israel camp, Elder Kazak, who teaches well, who rules well. I want to give double honors to the elders across the four corners of the globe, starting with the elders of GMS, who teach well and who rule well. I want to give salutations to the brothers that are of the hopeful elect, teaching and walking in truth and in righteousness. I want to give a shout out to the brothers that are likened unto the speckled bird, causing confusion among the heathen, because we are not the black Hebrew Israelites, right? To all y'all brothers, I'd like to say shalom. So this was a requested video from a good friend that I got. Her and her mother got a kind of ill will relationship, you know, and she said, "Can you make a video on being tempted by your parents, like trying to egg you on to do something bad so they can do some kind of retaliation or something?" I said, "Yeah, sure, man. You know, because that's in the scripture, and that's what's, I mean, it's prophesied to happen. You know, so and really, it's part of the curses, man. It's no way out of it. You know, it is. It's just where we are in this captivity that we in. You know." So, without further ado, we'll start. Here we go. Here we go. So this is Luke 12, verse 51. Suppose ye, now this is the red letter, so you know this is Yahweh Shah speaking, who the world so ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? So, verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, which means no, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You see? So it's saying, like, there will be division in your own household, you know? No matter what. That's what it's going to be. You know, especially in our captivity. And this won't change until we get into our kingdom, man. Until the Lord comes and redeems us and takes us back to our land, which will be a righteous land, you know? And everything will be in its right place. Everything will be in order at that time. But as of right now, in our captivity, in Great Babylon, which is America, this is what's going to happen, you know? Say he's coming to bring division, you know? But amongst that as well, look at the first verse. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. So you're not going to have peace. And then it runs down even in your own household, you're not going to have peace, man. You know, that's just the constituent that we under, you know? So, I mean, if you got a mother that's trying to tempt you, which is wicked as hell, so you can retaliate or do something or get you to do something so they can do something to you, you know, that's a form of wickedness, you know? That's wickedness, you know, for sure. For sure. You're not supposed to be doing that, man. You're supposed to have love for one another, you know, and do for each other. You know, that's what it's supposed to be. But like Yahweh Shah said, man, it's not going to be peace, and there will be division between father and son, between mother and daughter, daughter and mother, you know, and vice versa. See? All right, look. So, but even if that's what your mother is doing, you know, you still got to obey your mother, you know. You still got to. You got to obey both of your parents, you know. But let's read. All right. Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents in Yahweh, for this is right. Honor thy father and thy mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on earth. Now, this is the point that I was getting at, because she said that she was being tempted by her mother, which is a form of, which is provoking, kind of literally. But let's read. Let me put it in a different color. All right. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. You know? Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, your mother ain't supposed to be doing that, you know? But if she is, just kind of keep your distance away. I know it's your mother, and still give respect as well. You know, it's just, it's where we live in, you know? And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, you know? Matter of fact, let's go and get that in the NLT. All right. All right. Fathers, do not provoke. We can read the whole thing. Shalakia. All right. Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on earth. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. All right? All right? And that's exactly right, man. You know? You're supposed to you bring up your children under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, you know, so that kid can grow up right, basically, in a sense. You know, but you being provoked, just try and keep your distance and stay away. If moms need something, hey, all right, mom, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do that for you, and then get on through, you know. I mean, definitely easier said than done, but see, let me go back to the KJV. Or I can read it in this first and then go to the KJV for real. All right, look. So this is Colossians 3:20. Children, always obey your parents, for this pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not aggravate your children, or they will become discouraged. And that's how my friend was feeling, you know, crying and shit, you know, just down, you know, feeling that way. And right there in the scriptures, man. So moms ain't supposed to be doing that, you know. That ain't how it's supposed to go. That ain't cool. You see. No, I said about the same thing. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. So same thing, you know. And this is a rather quick video too. It's just a video for a good friend, you know. Should be going through it sometime. All right, see this? All right. Now this is Yahweh Shah saying that same thing again that we read in Luke 12, right? It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. See? There you go right there, you know? And a man's foes shall be they of his own house, they of his own household. And a foe is an enemy, you know? All right? Here, let's go and get the variance. So this is going into the Blue Letter Bible. We're going to go and get the etymology of the word that's in Matthew, which is variance. What was it, 1034? 1035. Interlinear set variance. All right.
Strong's G 1369. Dechadzo.
Dichadzo. All right. So, outline the biblical usage to cut into two parts, cleave, asunder, or sever. So y'all gonna be at odds no matter what. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna bump heads. You know? That is. Let's go and get the other one too. Uh, uh, um, dang, I don't know how I go back to the script from here. Oh, like this. Okay. And a man's foe. A foe is just an enemy, you know?
Strong's G 2190. Echthras.
All right. Look. So it says hate it, and this is for a foe. Hated, odious, hateful, hostile, hating, opposing another, used of men as enmity with God in their sin, opposing God in the mind, a man that is hostile, a certain. There we go right there. That's what we're looking for right here. A certain enemy is a foe. Yeah, it's an enemy, man. The hostile one. Well, we got the point, you know. So yeah. So I mean that says everything. For I am come to let me get a different color here. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, meaning I am coming to sever. You see? And the daughter against the mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, and a man's foe shall be they of his own household. So a man's enemy shall be they of his own household. You see? Hey, you can't get around that, man. You know? What did I want? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just want to get to the point for real. All right, so look. For the son dishonored the father, the daughter rise up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. So you're gonna have that bumping heads within the household. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing you can do is kind of distance yourself, and if mom's asked for something, you know what I mean, just be as respectful as possible and do what's asked of you and get on through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what else to really say or give, you know, except for that, you know. Let me see, what did I want? No, that ain't what I wanted. Nah, but that's it for the video. Just a short video. I pray and hope that this was edifying. Say shalom. On to the next.